This is a case study presented by Haught for EDL 955, in which I was to look at a series of issues from the perspective of the superintendent. In the case study, an overview of the staff was provided, as well as a statement about test scores and a climate survey that was performed by the previous superintendent. It was that survey that revealed some concerns about the district's performance and its facilities. The first things that I identified, and things that I know about from the information provided, was most significantly half of the students in the district are below state and national averages for reading and math. Our fundamental role as educators is to see that our students are learning, and the district seems to be failing in that regard. Second, I have a climate survey in front of me that was done by the previous superintendent, which indicates that the facility is in a huge state of disrepair. Numerous items are pointed out that are substandard for an effective learning environment, including poor air quality, large amounts of water damage resulting in mold, pest infestations, and leaky hazardous chemicals. The concerns of the faculty with the building are confirmed by a letter from a patron stating, and I quote, "Our school looks like hell and our kids are dumb because of it." A third thing that I have identified from the information that I have in front of me is that a significant maintenance staff currently exists at the building. There are 75 staff members at the school, 5 of those being custodians and 3 being maintenance personnel. That means that 10% of the staff are custodian and maintenance. So that brings me to some questions. Are the current maintenance staff working on any kind of plan? On the surface, it appears that there are a number of maintenance staff, and yet the building is still in disrepair. Additionally, I don't know what the board's expectation of the building is. Are they aware of the condition, and is there an adequate budget for maintenance? And finally, there is a statement in the climate survey that the community was not engaged in the school. So I want to know what has been done in the past to connect the community with the school. As a superintendent, I see my problem as being threefold. One, why is the building in its current state? Is it a lack of planning or is it a lack of funding? Next, what should be our short-term and long-term goals to address the facilities? And third, how do we engage the community as we begin to do a facility improvement? So I would employ 3 steps in my plan of action. The first is to investigate and review the current maintenance staff's schedule and maintenance plan. Next, I want to prioritize the most immediate needs for facility improvement. Health and safety have to be top of the list, and areas that are affecting these are the number 1 priority. And third, I want to mobilize the community in the improvement process. So some strategies to employ those would be, to begin with, I'm going to meet with the maintenance staff and review what they are doing daily and what their long-term plan is. Do the daily activities and long-term maintenance follow best practices? If not, how do we need to alter the current program? I want to see a daily, monthly, and annual set of checklists that indicate that we address daily and long-term custodial and maintenance procedures. I would also like to meet with the teachers to find out what they identify as their most significant issues for them in regards to having success in the classroom. One of the things that seems very immediate is the HVAC and mold issues. These are things that the maintenance staff has to address right now. Other things like classroom space, science classrooms, etc. might also be outlined by the teachers. And then I want to reach out to the community via newsletters that the Sunflower is looking to upgrade its facilities and would like to invite the patrons of the community to a meeting in the auditorium. There we would outline some of the current concerns, things the district should have an obligation to fix, like mold, like water damage, and things that we would like to improve, like science labs, music rooms, art rooms, PE facilities. Given that presentation, I would ask volunteers that are interested to contact me in forming an improvement committee. In that committee of staff and community members, we're going to develop a plan in which we first assess the needs, then assess the costs, and then determine how we're going to fund that particular plan. As superintendent, I need to do whatever it is possible to promote the success of all students in the district. It looks to me that facility improvement is the #1 priority. 75% of the teachers stated that the facility was important to their overall performance as teachers, and yet half of the teachers gave the school facility a C or worse. So a primary element that teachers need, and therefore students, is inadequate. And patrons have indicated the same thing in letters that they've sent me. The first concern is air quality. On a very short-term basis, we've got things like bird nests in intake valves, we got leaky chemicals in storerooms, and we have temperature fluctuations, all that will have adverse effects on the health of the students, and these have to be addressed immediately. On the long term, we have some issues in regards to classroom space. We have classes conducted in rooms not intended for teaching, and other small inappropriate instruction areas like science labs, music rooms, PE areas, all being inadequate. So long-term plans need to be put in place for those spaces, again, knowing that by doing so, students are going to benefit from these facility improvements. And the community needs to be involved in the process to stimulate a long-term partnership for the ultimate goal of improving the academic success of our students. As I read through the climate survey, I got the immediate impression that we have a facility that is in a very poor condition. Fundamental issues like air quality and mold are not being addressed, and this is resulting in health issues of 70% of the staff. No telling how many students might also be affected. The health issues, along with other facility challenges and poor community involvement, have resulted in poor morale. Almost 50% of the teachers have considered leaving the district, and 1/4 have considered leaving teaching altogether. It also struck me early on that there are 5 custodians and 3 maintenance workers on the staff. I've been in multiple buildings previous in which there is a larger faculty and only a fraction of that maintenance and custodial staff, and yet the building was immaculate. So there are some things that are still unresolved in our study. How did the building get in this state of condition? Was there a period where the maintenance budgets and protocol were ignored? Regardless, simple things like keeping bird nests out of air vents is inexcusable. Next, I would like to know if there was any capital money to fix some of the classroom space issues immediately or down the road. Some kind of plan needs to be put into place to fix these larger long-term problems, and I would like to know what the board's commitment is to addressing those needs. Finally, what has been done in the past to engage the community? The faculty is distraught about the lack of involvement, so I would like to know what has been done in the past so that we can evaluate what hasn't worked and hypothesize about what might be effective in the future. I want input from some of my administrators, lead teachers, and other personnel as to how they think I, as superintendent, can promote that involvement. So these are my thoughts about Sunflower District 2009. There are significant facility challenges, and to enhance the success of each student in the district, there needs to be a plan put into place to address these facility concerns.